Very good evening, Abhishek this side.
Good evening, sir.
Just want to check as to what time can we start with the session.
We'll be starting in just 2 to 5 minutes. We're waiting for the participants. They're joining.
Okay. Hi guys, very good evening to all of you. I'm sure you're able to hear me, but just to get a quick confirmation, on the right hand side of your screen, there is a small chat icon. Just click on that and type in a yes if you're able to hear me very. Uh, I will switch on the camera happily if I get to see faces as well. Right now, I only see Anjali, but I would love to see the rest of the folks also switching on the camera. And I know this for sure. Being a student, all of you are pretty much logged in through your mobile. I'm assuming a lot of you are logged in through your mobile. Very few through your laptops or iPads or whatever desktops, right? So I do understand. Some of you might be outside. Some of you might be with your friends. Some of you are in college, and some of you might be at home. So I do understand the constraints. But all those who can, I would love if you can switch on the camera. I will do the same. Otherwise, in any case, I'll be sharing my screen, so you'll get a fair idea, and I'll give everyone a chance to speak about it. Anjali, I think everyone can unmute and speak, right? If get it, you given a chance, right?
Uh, yes, sir, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, so if anyone, just to be sure, can anyone just unmute and say hi once, so that I know Anjali can, but rest of you, any one of you, if you're at home and there's no noise around, then can you quickly unmute and just say hi? That's it, so that I know that you guys can speak as well. You can unmute and speak, any one of you, unless you're too shy on a Friday evening to come online and say hi to me.
Hi, Abhishek.
All right. So, hi, Arun. So, see, finally someone switched on the camera besides Anjali. So good to see your face here. Thanks.
Fine.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Arun. Thanks, Arun. Really appreciate it. Let me keep the chat open as well, sideways, the sides. Okay. Okay. So, till the time, I think another 1 or 2 minutes, then we will get started. But meanwhile, let me just switch on the camera. Okay. Can you guys see me? Can I get a hi? If you guys can see me, can you type in a yes in the chat box very quickly? If all of you can see me, just on the chat again, just go to the chat and say yes. Only I see Siddhi saying Nishi, Anushka, Devin. Okay, great. I see a lot of people saying yes. Wonderful. Okay, great. Awesome. Sounds good. Okay. So, I have a couple of things to check with you before I jump in and, talk about masters, right? And I know all of you might want to know a lot of things here. So, question number one. If you can type in and tell me which city you are logging in from. I'm assuming a lot of you are from Delhi, NCR region, but if you can type in and tell me which city are you logging in from, that would be great. Excuse me, again. Okay, so as expected, we have people from Gurgaon, okay, Delhi, Ratlam, okay, very nice. Delhi again, Delhi. You guys are making me a little nostalgic. Okay, Haridwar as well. Okay, Madhya Pradesh, very nice. Okay, we have people from different states. Very nice. So good to see. Patna, wow, namaskar. Okay. Okay, great. Good to see. And also, can you type in? Oh, we have someone from Agra as well. Wow. Okay. Can you type in and tell me first which college are you from, and second, which department are you from? Is that okay, Anjali? Is that question fair? I mean, I would love to know. Which college are you from? And quickly, very fast, if you can just go use your phone or whatever. Okay, I'm assuming DSC. Okay. Commerce, okay. Commerce department, commerce, they all sing. Okay, I'm assuming a lot of you are from they all sing, right? Evening college. Okay, yeah. So DSEC and commerce. The common thing coming out. Is there anyone who is outside commerce or outside DSEC? I don't think so. Okay. Okay, we have someone from Shahid Bhagat Singh. Wow, I've been to a campus, Shailaja, a number of times. So it's going to be fun talking to all of you today. Okay. So good to see, from all of you from different backgrounds. Okay. Another check that I have for all of you is which language is comfortable for you? English, Hindi, both. You can type it in the chat box and tell me. I know some of you are too shy to speak, so please type it. Okay, I see both. Is there anyone who does not understand Hindi? Please feel free to tell me. I have been talking to students all across India, and every time I'm in a kind of a dilemma whether I should speak this language or not. So I want to be sure before I talk to you guys. And I want to keep a very short and sharp session, so don't worry, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I'm going to keep it short. It's a Friday evening, and everyone has plans, right, Arun? Yeah, sure, of course.
Oh
How
yeah, sorry, I'm on mute. Okay.
that's okay, Arun. That's okay. Everyone has plans, big, big plans, and Friday evenings are very special for all the college folks.
Tuesday is off as well, na? The Ambedkar Jayanti is so.
Oh, okay. I should have known that. My bad. So I'm pulling everyone out of their free routine, or whatever personal plans you guys got. So I'm sorry, already about it, but I promise
Yeah,
you in the next 20-25 minutes I'm going to wrap this up so that you guys go and have fun, whatever you guys plan to do. Okay?
very nice.
Sounds good? Sounds good, Arun?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Hindi
please.
चलेगी सबको? Hindi English दोनों, right? Works? Can I get a thumbs up? Yes,
Yes,
something in the chat box. The chat box, it should work out. Okay. Oh wow, I can see emojis. Yeah, Google Meet has got a little advanced. I use Zoom and Cisco WebEx all the time, but now Google Meet shows me these thumbs up and all that. I love emojis. So use as many emojis as possible. I love that. Okay, use as many emojis throughout as well. Amazing. Thank you. So sweet of you. Okay. Anjali, before I jump in and do anything, you want to take it up?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Um, Good evening, everyone. I, Anjali Chabra, on behalf of ComHub, the Common Society of Dancing Evening College, welcome you all to this very exciting workshop. What am I missing? Masters Demystified. Before we move any further, I request you all to kindly maintain the decorum throughout the session. You can post your queries in the chat box and we'll make sure that they're addressed at the end of this session. Preparing for a master's degree requires a lot of careful planning, dedication, and hard work. It is essential to have a clear understanding of your academic goals and the program requirements of the master's degree you want to pursue. It is also crucial to develop excellent time management skills, effective study habits, and good communication skills to thrive in a master's program. To provide you with a better understanding of the same, on behalf of the ComHub team, I would like to welcome our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. Abhishek Gupta. Sir is a career expert and a corporate professional with more than 12 years of experience in information technology and educational technology. His major focus has been on technology partnerships, strategy, and business development. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Anjali. So kind of you for such nice and such nice words. All exaggerated though for me because I don't stand anywhere. I've got the smartest kids right now in front of me, and I don't stand anywhere. But still, I try to do some justice to your next 20-25 minutes. Is everyone in sync with me until now? Can I get a thumbs up once more, very quickly before I get started? So I get one from Anjali. Okay. Now I can see all the emojis coming in. Great. Okay, great. Is it okay if I share my screen? I would love to share my screen with all of you. Nothing very fancy, something very, very basic, but I would love to see if I can share my screen with you. And okay, let me see. Okay. Now I want a confirmation from you if you guys are able to see my screen. Can I get a confirmation if you guys are able to see my screen? Okay. I love see Yashika is sending something different, which I like at least. You guys are the I know Gen Zs. Karun, am I right? Gen Zs? What do you guys call yourselves? I don't know. I'm from the old times, so I don't know. You call them Gen Zs, you call them
You are
millennials.
right. I think so.
कुछ भी चलेगा. Smart
कुछ भी
people है,
चलेगा.
सब चलेगा, right? It doesn't matter. Okay, so I hope you guys are able to see my screen, right? So, first of all, thank you to Edu Ames and Anjali especially for giving me this opportunity to speak with all of you. I've always got a chance to come down to Delhi very often, speak with a lot of colleges, and for the last 5 years, I've been trying to do that. And it's fortunate enough for me to come down and getting a chance even online to speak with all of you. And I'm not gonna give you a very detailed yarn about what masters. You guys are very smart, so you can figure out a lot of things in life. But there are certain aspects which we do not think in our head logically, And that's why we tend to take quite hasty decisions. Do you guys agree with me? Can I say yes or no? Can I get some yes or no? कॉलेज में रश होता है, राइट? कॉलेज टाइम में हमें बहुत रश रहता है, पीयर प्रेशर होता है, प्रोफेसर्स होते हैं, देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स हैपनिंग at the same time that we are overwhelmed by the sense of information around us, and we tend to take decisions which might be good or bad at the same time, right? And that's why I'm going to dive into some very basic but very niche options that you guys can take up. And I think they have proven to be one of the best options in the world for someone who aspires to go for masters, right? So I'm going to jump into that separately, right? Uh, First, a quick introduction about me, although Anjali has been kind enough to tell. Now, why do you think I have added this slide? Any reason that you see? Any reason? Now, this is something what I was when I passed my graduation, right? I was something who was absolutely clueless. I was wondering what is happening around me. And even though there were job offers, things happening, I was just wondering why people are able to succeed and I'm not. And I was just wondering and looking around. Now, a lot of people who think that, what happens after graduation, right? There are a lot of things that can happen. So, who am I? It's right there on your screen. I'm someone who has been an engineer. Fortunately, unfortunately, I've been an engineer in life with 0% attendance, and the figures that you see are true, right? I have been a developer in life, an IT developer with a lot of bugs, and that's a good thing. I have a marketer. I've been a marketer in life with 0% creativity, speaker with zero audience. Some of you are there today, and a strategist with 0% impulsivity. I hope you understand what I'm trying to tell here, right? Hi, everyone, guys. My name is Abhishek Gupta, and I welcome all of you here today to this session. Now, fortunately, I'm an engineer. I have been an engineer. Why? Because my father is a scientist. Before that, I got into merchant navy. I was all India topper for IHM exam, Delhi itself. I also got into Delhi University. If you don't know, have you guys heard about this college called as St. Stephen's and Hindu College? How many of you have heard about them? I'm sure you heard these names, right? Naam sune honge. So I got into these colleges into physics honors, math honors, but again confused. So I decided to take up engineering. Right, went ahead. Had a great time in engineering gala time, did nothing in terms of studies, but did represent my college for sports like basketball. I did for a little bit of fashion, sports, all of this that you can consider, dancing, did all of that. Post my engineering, I gave these exams called as GRE, GMAT. How many of you have heard about it? Type in a yes in the chat box. How many of you have heard about these exams? GRE, GMAT, CAT. How many of you have heard these names? I'm sure all of you have heard these names, right? Okay. So I gave these exams, landed up with good 99 percentiles in all of them, but again confused. Typical engineer. You guys are smart. All those who do not pick up engineering are very, very smart. I made the mistake of choosing engineering, so I landed up there. Anyways, after engineering, I take these exams, but again, हम not just engineers, Indian students के अंदर एक कीड़ा होता है. क्या कीड़ा होता है? जैसे अपनी ग्रेजुएशन खत्म करें ना, तो खुद का पैसा कमाना होता है. I want to have that flamboyant life. I want to work in those big firms, the Big Four, the Fortune 500. I want to have my own money. And unless a son of or daughter of a businesswoman. So I had this thing. Luckily landed up in this company called as Accenture. How many of you have heard about it? Type in a yes. I'm sure you guys would have heard something called as Accenture. So landed up in Accenture, one of the biggest consulting firms in the world. Started working with them as a developer. Had a great time. Then I started with the world's largest tech, which as Byju's, right? Then I worked with multiple startups called as Kerala as my captain. And currently I'm also pursuing my executive MBA from one of the top B schools in the world called as ISB. How many of you have heard about Indian School of Business, which is based out of Hyderabad? Can I get a yes or a no or a thumbs up something? Okay, Vinayak has heard about it. Okay, Anjali has heard about it. Sagar has heard about it. Or 3 people in this crowd know about ISB. Okay, Yatharth, Yashika. Few people at least. Okay, at least few people know. So one of the top B school of India and one of the topmost in Asia. So fortunately, I'm doing my master's from there as well. So this is in a nutshell about my journey. And now let's directly get into this reason why we are here today. But before that, EduAIMS is very, very crucial. And I'm sure you heard the name EduAIMS in the starting itself. A lot of us try to, de-untangle or, basically break down as to how you can go for masters abroad. One of the key things that EduAIMS has been doing for quite some time and responsible for thousands of admits abroad is one of the key aspects of master's application. which school is relevant for you, which is not, which is very, very crucial, trust me, which you might not think about it right now, but it is according to your DNA, and what kind of profile you need to step into any good school in terms of masters. So these are very very essential elements, और हम लोग क्या generally नहीं सोचते हैं इस चीजों को, but ये बहुत critical होती हैं. And EduAIMS has been doing this for years now, but right now more important it's you. So if you can again quickly type down and tell me which department are you on. I know there are a couple of options on the screen. Quickly type it in the chat box and tell me, is it BCom, BBA? What is it? Quickly type in the chat box so that I know. I know there are more than 45 lakh graduates passing out every year. So I want to know. Okay, I see BCom honors, BCom. I think all of you, most of you have BCom. There was one person from Shahid Bhagat Singh as well. Oh no, the other way, whatever the name of the college was. I think BCom, most of you, right? At least you outnumber the engineers any given day. You guys are smart that way, right? You outnumber engineers. So you have better chances to crack, right? Now, I have a question for all of you. I want to know, what are your plans after your graduation, right? Maybe you are in second year, you are in final year, whichever year you are in. I would love to know, what are your plans, right? I'll give you three options and you tell me, okay? I'll give you three options. Number one, boss, you know what? I want to get into a typical job. I don't care about what the world does. मुझे बस job चाहिए, खुद का पैसा कमाना है. I want to have that 9 to 5 wala job for 5 days and then chill on the weekends. So I don't care about it. That's option number one. Option number two, I think, you know what? My entrepreneur is still alive in me. I want to start my own business. खुद का कुछ करना है, right? I want to become an entrepreneur right now itself. Or third, I want to go for masters. I want to study more, upskill myself, and get into masters, right? So please write down in the chat box and tell me, what are your plans, and please do not hesitate. Please do not hesitate. There is no judgment here. We all are friends here. I would love to know, what are your plans after your graduation? Quickly type in the chat box. I'm still waiting. Okay, so Anjali says masters. Okay, what about the rest? You can choose 1, 2, 3, anything. First is job, second is entrepreneurship, third is masters. Okay, Yatharth wants to become an entrepreneur. Great, Yatharth. I'm happy to see that. Anushka wants to go for masters. Tanushi wants to go for masters. Great. Okay, great. Amazing. Anshika also wants to go for masters. I see a lot of you are planning for masters. Great. Great. I'm happy about it. But I know there's some of the people who will plan for a job as well, right? Now, I think there are 40 to 45 lakh graduates passing out in India every year, right? What is the challenge here? Can anyone tell me, a lot of you, not just you guys, you are whatever X number here in the webinar today, a lot of you around in your college and other colleges in Delhi are planning for a job after BCom. Good enough. I'm not saying no to it. What is the challenge in India? Can any one of you tell me? Type it in the chat box. Okay, so Anjali says unemployment. And unemployment is a consequence, right, Anjali? But there are certain reasons for it. Competition, very good, Devanshi, very good. Skills, Yatharth says skills, very nice. Anushka also lands up around the competition again. You guys are pretty close. You guys are actually very, very close. Any firm, you know, what is the biggest challenge? I'll tell you 2, 3 challenges, and I'll be very open about it, okay? How many of you have heard about consulting Big Four? Can anyone tell me? And being final year students, I'm sure you should know this. I'm expecting you to know this. You're from one of the good colleges, so I'm expecting you to know this. Can anyone type it out and tell me? Okay, tell me any three names very famous in the consulting field. Any name, any 3 names. Okay, KPMG, very good, Devanshi. Anyone else? Deloitte, okay. Deloitte, very good. EY, yes, Devanshi. EY, very good. PwC, okay. Price, okay, yeah. Okay. How many of you have heard the name McKinsey? How many of you have heard the name McKinsey? Can you type it yes or no? McKinsey or Bain and Co., BCG. How many of you have heard about Boston Consulting Group? If you haven't, just Google them today whenever you get time. Just Google, simple. These are one of the top firms in the world, and every commerce student out there aspires to get in there. Do you know this? They aspire to get into such firms. Right after finishing, they want a job in these firms, and if you get into an associate role, wonderful. Amazing life, no question. What is the challenge? The challenge is when you try to get into these firms, any of the good firms, none of these firms in a job try to give you a client-facing role. If you notice, they do not give you a client-facing role. They'll always give you the back-end role. The reason being, again, the upskilling part, which someone had, I think Devanshi had mentioned earlier. What they will do is they'll keep you 2-3 years in the back-end role. They'll try to get you acquainted how the client works, right? And then they have an incubation center as well, McKinsey, that if you are able to upskill yourself and or do masters, then you're put forward to a client facing role, otherwise not. And that's what is happening. I'll tell you one more story, okay? And this is true. I cannot tell you the name of this person, but I'll tell you. Is it okay? Can I share the story? Just 1 minute story. So there was this friend of mine, okay, way back, and he studied from Christ University, Bangalore. I'm sure all of you know that Christ University in Bangalore is pretty famous. तो उसने क्या किया? उसने पढ़ाई पूरी करी, and he got placed in EY. Everyone knows. Some of you listed down as well. Now, after working for a couple of years, he got married. Okay, had a kid, bought a new house. Good life, nothing, no problem, right? Now, after some time, EY kind of started, and this was way in the back. They started throwing out employees, not throwing out per se, but they asked employees to move out. One of the primary reasons being because they were not specialized, they were not upskilled, right? This guy was asked to go for his master. He was a good employee, but asked for go for masters. And that day when he called me, he was crying on the phone. I was wondering. I said, "What happened, brother? Why are you crying?" He said, "I have to fill my EMI for my home. I have a kid to take care of. I've got a family. And now if I sit down and prepare for 1 year GMAT without a job, think about what happens. And if I do it with a job, I'll still have to go for upskilling. And I cannot live without paying the EMIs, cannot live without my child." Now, I was wondering that was it the preparedness in the past that would have helped him? And that would make me realize that companies today prefer people with upskilled nature rather than someone who has just passed out with graduation. I'm not saying they won't prefer you, and they will still get employed, but it becomes much, much more tough. And someone used the word competition, and the competition is eaten up by people with masters. And that's why it is so important today in today's competitive world, given the economy how it is, and the competition, the number of people graduating every year, it's so essential for each and everyone out there to get a master's degree. And you might be thinking it's a joke, but it's not, right? Let me tell you something interesting. Let's not discuss job, entrepreneurship, higher education, right? What are the challenges in the job market? Look at this. How many of you agree with this? Type in a yes or a no. Given the current scenario, I'm sure in the last 5 months you have heard about the layoff stories. Have all of you heard this? Yes or no? Can I get a yes or no? I'm sure all of you have heard the layoff stories, even from all the way from Amazon to any of the local companies, the MSMEs, right? So the job opportunities are very, very limited. I'm sure all of you agree with that. Second, every company, good company that is trying to hire is very, very clear about whom they want to hire. Does it make sense? They're not hiring anyone random. That, I go to XYZ college, I pick up everyone, I call 100 students for interviews, aptitude test, and it's done. No. They have very, very stringent criteria all the way from academic to extracurricular and to aptitude that you bring to the table with the extra knowledge and the specialization, right? So this becomes very, very difficult for people to get into the job. Third, a lot of us do have our own constraints, right? A lot of you are from Delhi and nearby areas. Do you think it's easy for each and everyone to go to Mumbai, Chennai, or Bangalore? Do you think it's easy? Yes or no? Let's be honest with each other. And whether it's a medical problem, family problem, whatever constraints it might be, it's not easy for everyone to move out of the city just like that. Another challenge, right? So not everyone gets the job they want. Fourth, economy. It was completely blown in the last couple of, I think, at least last 1 or 2 years. Have you seen the change after COVID, how it struck and how things have been trying to come back to normal, which is very, very difficult. Both Indian economy and the global economy. Of course, the Indian economy is on a rise, but it has been very, very challenging in terms of global terms. The markets have been down. And of course, last is the competition. It's to the last breath that everyone is fighting for a seat, even for a single job as good as 3 LPA. Do you guys agree with me on this? And I'm talking this out of complete practical exposure that I've seen in terms of colleges. Every single person who's trying to get a job is fighting tooth and nail. Doesn't matter whether you're fighting on social media, whether you're fighting on job platforms, whether you're doing placement through colleges. Everywhere there is a big fight in terms of getting a job. And that's what the real struggle is all about in terms of getting a job, right? And I'm not saying don't go for a job. I'm not saying that at all. If you're planning, go for it. I'm all up for it. But I'm telling you the struggle, what is happening in the real time in the country. And look at this. Look at one of the things. I'm not going to count in terms of dollars right now, but look at the bachelors and the MBA folks are getting more jobs than the commerce students. Most of the people who are getting the jobs are on the top two. Can you see yes or no? Can I get a yes or no if you can see what I'm showing you right now? On the left hand side, if you see the majority of people, right, if you see, are landing up around for MBA and bachelor folks. And that too, I'm talking about colleges who are top notch, right? I'm not talking about normal BTech colleges. I'm talking about the top notch colleges. And the salaries are pretty much normal unless until you are not specialized. You're not having, look at this, someone who's a bachelor's degree holder, and look at this, almost double the salary if you have masters. This is what the reality is, right? So now, if I say, a lot of us think about it that, okay, these are challenges, we should think about masters, right? A lot of us think about masters in India because we are very close to our family. Common reason? Do you guys agree with me? Yes or no? One of the common reasons we want to pursue masters in India is घर के पास होना चाहिए. I can visit my family often. Job भी India में लगेगा. I can take care of my parents. I don't want to go far away. India में अच्छे options हैं. Am I right? Yes or no? Is that correct? Somewhat correct? Can I get a yes or no in the chat box? If you are there, I'm not seeing. Okay, yeah, Anshika is there. At least Anshika gave the response. Okay, yeah, correct. Then why do you think I wrote this word challenges for masters in India? Can anyone tell me? Why do you think there are any challenges with masters in India? Any one of you? Jobless challenge, we understood. Lot of challenges. What is the challenge with masters in India? Can anyone tell me? You can unmute and speak if you want. I cut off. Devana says fees. Okay, I won't consider fees as such. For Indian students, financial challenge, of course. We think about financial challenge, one of the major challenges. Okay, competition, financial challenges. Let's look at that. Have you guys ever seen that, what you call as Kumbh Mela? Have you seen Kumbh Mela happens every 12 years in Allahabad? Is it crowded? Is it crowded? This is how Indian students try to think about masters when they were Indian masters. Can anyone tell me which is the most popular exam that happens in India for masters? Very common. Everyone knows the name. CAT. Everyone knows it. Can you guys tell me how many students in India appear for CAT every year? I'm sure aap sabko pata hoga. What is the common number? Can anyone tell me? Of course, lakhs. Thousands सब चिल्लर इंडिया में, 1000 वगैरह में कोई सोचता नहीं इंडिया में, सब लाख्स में होता है, राइट? तो निशी आप बताओ, can anyone guess? Okay, it's around 2 to 2.5 lakh students, correct? Around 2.5 lakh students. Okay, Vinayak, थोड़ा सा कम, right? Which are the top institutes everyone wants to go to? कौन से कॉलेज में जाना है सबको? बताओ. I'm sure everyone knows the name. Of course, IIMs. कौन सा वाला IIMs? कौन से वाला IIMs में जाना है? I'm ABC, correct. Anjali एकदम से बोलिए. Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, and Kolkata, right? Everyone wants to go there, right? Number of seats? Few thousands. Few hundreds rather, right? Think about it. Think about it. There are a few hundreds of seats that you're looking at, or maybe thousands, and lakhs of students who want to get into the same top-notch colleges. All of you are fighting for them. What is the probability of getting selected? Simple math. Come on. What is the probability? Let's be honest today. I'm sitting here in front of you to talk to about reality of life. You're going to take up CAT exam this year, November 23. I'm going to tell you the reality. I'm not just talking about DSCC here. I'm talking about the entire India. You're going to be a part of that crowd. Look at this crowd you see. You're going to be a part of the crowd. Probability is less than 0.0001%. At least 0.01% se kam ho gaya. And I'm not going to talk about the numbers right now. There's no point talking about it. The reality is very, very tough. What is the challenge? What is the challenge here? Competition super high है. जो best colleges आपको चाहिए country में वही किसी और को भी चाहिए. The competition is super high. So if you want to think about CAT, you'll have to think 100 times, should I go for it or not? Because you will go for it. And not that you're not intelligent, trust me. It's not that you're not intelligent. I'll give you an example, okay? I'll give you an example. Let me take DSCC as an example, okay? Anjali, आपका strength क्या है BCom का final year का? Just give me an approximate count. Can you type it or at least unmute and speak? Anything. What is the total strength of BCom students in DSCC? Any one of you can type in, guys. It's okay. So BCom P, she says around 200. Let me take an example of this itself, okay? There are 200 students who are preparing for CAT exam. And let me say, hypothetically, around 7 of them land up with 99.9 percentile in CAT exam. Good? It's good or not? All of you agree it's good? Yes or no? Can I get a yes? Only Anjali is nodding her head. Can I get a yes or no? All of you agree? 99.9 percentile in CAT? Great. Wow. Can all of you, 193 of you, write it down in writing and sign and tell me all 7 will get admission in IMABC? Can any one of you write it down and sign it and tell me that all 7 will get the admission in ABC? Why? Why? What is the reason? The first number, what do you see? The first point, the competition. In spite of performing really, really well, being good student, doing everything nice, the probability of selection is less than 0.01%. That means the success rate is, that means what is the failure rate? What is the failure rate? 99.9%. Most of these students are guaranteed to fail in such exams. And I tell the same thing to engineers as well. It's not just you. Have you guys heard about this exam called as GATE for IITs? I'm sure you have heard about this technical exam called as GATE, right? Happens for IITs. Same challenge. Everyone wants to go to IIT Bombay. Agreed? IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, IIT Kharagpur, right? All good. IIT Delhi. Do you think it's easy? At least CAT is 2.5 lakh. You know how many students sit for GATE? 7 to 8 lakh students. Do you think it's easy for them? No, hundreds of seats and it's not easy. It is killing. One more challenge is, how many times can you write CAT in 1 year? If you write CAT today, it does not go well. How much time do you have to wait for next time? Next CAT exam? Quickly type it in the chat box and tell me. How much time do you think you guys will have to wait? If I have to do it for 1 year. Do you think you can go again and write it the next day? No, my father is not scheduling the exam for me. Mere pitaji nahi kar rahe, right? So I'll have to wait for 1 year, right? There is a fixed schedule behind it. And that's what makes it so difficult to think about Indian masters. And I'm talking about good masters. I'm not talking about MCOM. I'm not talking about MCA. I'm not talking about general masters that you think of. I'm talking about quality masters that land you up with very good jobs. The one specialization one. And that's what you're talking about. Is everyone clear until now? Yes or no? Can I get a quick yes or no if you are clear until now? What is the challenge in India? Why is it important to specialize? And why is it so crucial to think about masters? Now, but don't worry. There's always a way out. Okay, there's always a way out. Right now, I'm here. I'm going to show you some amazing opportunities. In fact, amazing options, very niche options, exclusively for freshers like you, where the competition is less and number of seats are more. Interested? Is anyone interested? If you're interested, then I'll tell you. Otherwise, I won't tell you. You tell me yes or no. How many of you want to know? There are options that exclusively for freshers, where the competition is less and number of seats are more. How many of you want to know this? Oh, okay. I see a lot of people. Okay, if you have a notepad or a file, a notebook and a pen, please make a note of it. Just write down the name. You can Google them later. But I'm going to throw in some very interesting points in front of you. There are very amazing options lying in front of you. Something called as DEFED MBA, MIM in Techno Management. Can you write it down? Please, I'll elaborate for you, but quickly write it down. And I want all of you to write it down. Okay, DEFED MBA, MIM in Techno Management. Very, very interesting options for BCom students or any of the non-tech students, non-engineering students that you're looking at. Amazing options. How many of you have heard about DEFED MBA? Raise your hands. How many of you have heard about DEFED MBA? Please raise your hands very quickly. Oh my God, don't tell me you haven't not heard about it. Oh my God. Okay, then definitely write it down, guys. It's gonna be super amazing for all of you. Excuse me. How many of you have heard about MIM? Can you raise your hands? Don't tell me MBAs. Okay, I know everyone knows about MBA. How many of you have heard about MIM? Okay, and if you have not about DEFED MBA and MIM, then I'm doubtful about techno management a little bit. Okay, no worries. I'm going to help you out. Are you guys interested to know very quickly? Next 5 minutes, can we quickly go through these options? Yes or no? Can I get a thumbs up if you are ready? Okay. Anshika says awesome. Okay, awesome, good. Let's look at my favorite option. Okay, DEFED MBA. How does it work? Listen carefully. Okay, how does it work? You apply in your pre-final or final year. Pre-final or final year. If the college likes you, they'll give you an admission right now, but you will start with your master's 2 years later. Listen carefully. If you're in a pre-final final year, you can apply right now. If the college likes you, they'll give you the admission right now. But you will start with your master's 2 years later. So basically, if you're passing out in 2023, when will you start with your master's? When will you start with the master's? 2020? Can you please type in? I'm sure you guys are smart. 25. Absolutely correct, Manai. 2 years, you can do anything. You can get a job, work. You can stand up for elections. Delhi में election के लिए खड़े हो जाओ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. जो करना है करो. But 2 साल के बाद you can start with the masters. Sounds an interesting option? Yes or no? It's not a typical MBA. It's specifically for people who are in college, like you guys, right? India, mein, there is only one place where you can go for deferred MBA. Can anyone tell me which place am I talking about? Does anyone remember my college? No, I think people will be able to answer at least. Absolutely correct, Anjali. Indian School of Business. Please write down the program name, guys. Write it down. Indian School of Business has a deferred MBA program for you guys. It is called as YLP. Write it down. Young Leaders Program. It's a program exclusively for you guys. Okay? The competition is less, number of seats are more. Trust me, YLP is such an amazing program. You know what is the average starting salary? Okay, tell me something. If a graduate, BCom graduate, gets a job in India, right? How much does he get paid on an average? Can anyone type it in the chat? Annual salary कितनी होगी India में on an average? अगर कोई BCom graduate होता है and job लगती है उनकी 4 lakhs. Okay, Vinayak says 4 lakhs. Anyone else? Anyone else? 4 to 5 lakhs. You know what is the average starting salary after YLP? Can anyone guess? It's close to 20 to 25 lakhs per annum. How many years will it take to reach 20-25 lakhs per annum for a fresher? Can anyone tell me? On an average, कितने साल लग जाएंगे? Even to become a manager or think about it. How many years do you think a graduate will take to reach 20-25 lakhs per annum after doing BCom? I want you guys to be absolutely honest with me. Okay, do not hide and do not sugarcoat things. I want you guys to be absolutely honest. At least 8, 10, 15 साल तो नहीं बोलूंगा, but at least 6 से 8 साल लग सकते हैं. At least 5 से 6 साल मान के, क्योंकि if I jump companies and try to do good companies, then yes, right? That's why deferred MBA is one of the most top-notch, amazing options for all of you in India. Apply now, reserve your seat right now, go for your master's 2 years later. Interesting? Sounds interesting, right? And that's why India में सिर्फ एक ही option है. A lot of you want to stay in India, you don't want to go abroad, then ISB YLP है. Right?
Hello, Abhishek. There are multiple options for the deferred MBA. I think India में ज़्यादा है, not ISBM only.
I'll tell you something. I think the options that you're trying to refer to, एक है SPJN का, right? Which you're trying to put in. One is Great Lakes ka, right? And then one is ESDA Bocconi. I don't know how many of you have heard about it. ESDA Bocconi is one of the top B schools in Italy, right? In Milan. They have their Asia Center in Mumbai itself, right? They also give you similar kind of options. But
and even in Pune as well, there are more than 2 institutions also doing the same thing.
If I talk about, then there are the programs that will give you typical MBA as well, right? 2 साल के आप job करके जा सकते हो MBA करके, and then there are institutes. But I'm talking about the top-notch institutes here. अगर आपको masters करना है, देखो अरुण, 2 चीजें हैं. I can go for masters, I can go for quality masters. There are 2 options. I'm not saying people who go for masters are bad. The options that I'm giving you are options that are not known to people. Deferred MBA from ISB is one of the most top-notch, जहाँ पे salary structure is freaking amazing. जो salary structure normally नहीं मिलता है, right? And that is why I'm giving you these options, because I want you guys to land up in the top-notch institutes.
You are asking just only ISBM is only there, no? So that's why I'm asking that more than ISBM also.
These are the one recognized throughout. When I say deferred MBA through GMAT or GRE, these are the ones which are recognized, and that's why I'm giving them to you.
That's fine. Carry on, please.
Happy to help. Similarly, can you see something on the screen? How many of you know about Harvard? Can you type in a yes or a no? I'm sure if you guys have heard the name Harvard, Stanford. Can I get a yes or a no? सबने सुना होगा, right? Top-notch schools हैं, one of the top 10 schools of the world. They also have a similar deferred MBA program. You apply in your final year. If they like you, they'll select you. You can go 2 years later. The program from Harvard is called as 2+2. Please write it down. लिख लो अपने पास कहीं पे. Harvard का program है 2+2. Stanford is something called as early entry option, right? Even there are other schools abroad like Chicago, like Arun was mentioning India में. Abroad, there are a couple of schools called Chicago, Yale, right? You can go for any of these schools. They, all of them provide deferred MBA programs. Wharton also provide, but mind it, Wharton gives it only to people who have done their graduation from there. So Wharton ka count mat karna, but rest of the programs you can count. So deferred in MBA is one of the top-notch options that you guys can think about. Has everyone written it? Written it? Can I get a thumbs up if you have written? Can I get a yes or no if everyone has written this? Quick. If everyone has written deferred MBA, India and abroad, दोनों options दे दिए मैंने, right? Amazing. कुछ लोग होते हैं इंडिया में जो कहते हैं कि you know what, I do not want to wait for 2 years. Correct or not? I want to finish my graduation immediately. मेरे को masters करना है फिर job पकड़नी है. Make sense? I've got one of the best options for you. Please write it down. Please write it down somewhere. MIM, Masters in Management. Masters in Management. It's an amazing option that you can think of. Competition literally negligible. पता है क्यों? पहली बात तो ऐसे प्रोग्राम्स के लिए इंजीनियर्स को बहुत कम कंसिडर किया जाता है, बहुत कम. Have you guys heard about NUS Singapore? How many of you have heard about NUS Singapore? SMU, NUS, they both are in Singapore, right? I'm sure you have heard about it. They don't even allow engineers. They mostly prefer non-engineers, like people like you for this role. So competition खत्म हो जाता है. Second, एक बात बताओ, अगर इंडिया में आप किसी IIM से अगर आप करते हो, what is the fees for an MBA? Can anyone type down in the chat box? Can anyone tell me if you want to think about an MBA, for example, right, in India, how much do you have to pay in India? For example, I'm Ahmedabad, I'm Bangalore. Correct. Around, say, on an average, 25 to 30 lakhs लगेगा. Not 40, 25 to 30 तो लगता ही है. Correct? बाकी वो गल. You can finish an MIM in 8 to 12 lakhs also. Amazing, right? And you don't have to wait. Imagine one of the best schools in the world. The curriculum is so great. For example, NUS का curriculum क्या है? First 6 months in Singapore. Next 6 months you study in Europe. And then after that, internship in US. Think about it. पूरे 1.5 साल में world tour हो जाता है. It's an amazing experience for all of you to think about an MIM program, something like that. And right now, what you see on your screen is one of the top schools of the world giving you a MIM program. HEC Paris and London Business School, of course, but the world's #1 MIM program is offered by St. Gallen's in Switzerland. Please लिख लो कहीं पे if you want to write it down. St. Gallen's program in Switzerland is one of the top schools in the world giving you the world's #1 MIM program. It's an amazing place. There are many schools. You have Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, then you have CEIBS China, then again you have NUS NTU, then you have ESSEC towards Europe side, France, right? All these schools do provide you, MIM program. But I'm just listed on one of the few which you can take it up. Amazing set of options that you can take up. And lastly, but not the least, there are a lot of students who think about doing something special. Let me ask you this. How many of you have heard the term analytics in the last 1 or 2 years? Type in down yes or no. How many of you have heard this term? It's a very business-oriented term, and I'm sure like ChatGPT has grown in last 2-3 months. Analytics has been there for over a decade now, right? In the industry, has been the common buzzword for all of us. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by analytics? Anyone? Or why is it important? Please unmute and speak if you can. Please unmute, otherwise type it out. Why do you think analytics is important? Why? Why do you think analytics is so important? Normal businesses were running, have been running since 1960s, 70s, 80s. Why do you think analytics have picked up so much importance in the last 1 decade? Can anyone tell me? Difficult to answer, right? It's a difficult question to answer. Have you guys heard about data analytics? I'm sure you have heard the term data analytics, business analytics, because it helps you take business decisions, right? You look at a lot of data, you understand how the consumer is working, which areas, how to target your specific campaigns. You see a lot of factors and then decide and take business decisions. And that's why analytics becomes so important. That's why for people as good as BCom, BSc, and BCA can think about something called as techno management. Please write it down. Very, very amazing options. Write it down. You can see on your screen. Some of you who want to specialize for accounting, makes sense. Finance makes sense because these are the things you have been studying in 3 years, right? But there's something, I'm sure international business as well. But business and data analytics is a very, very lucrative field right now. Very lucrative, including entrepreneurship. I'm sure you have heard about, there are a lot of courses right now out there especially for entrepreneurs. I remember there was someone in the crowd who told that he wants to become an entrepreneur, right? A lot of people need to understand that these are the specific courses: masters in data analytics, masters in business analytics, masters in international business. Remember, I was talking about Esda Balcony. It gives you masters in international business as well, right? And entrepreneurship. These are specific techno management courses, which is a mix of technical and management that brings you together and puts you in a very unique place in the world. So most of the companies do not find techno management people so easily. Similar to techno management courses, there is a course called as MEM as well. Okay, Masters in Engineering Management, which is for engineers, which is a combination of technical and management. These courses give you a variety of skill set to become managers into different industries. And I don't know how many of you have understood what I'm saying. I'm trying to talk about every single industry possible out there. And talk about e-commerce industry, talk about FMCG industry, talk about automobile industry, talk about I don't know, e-commerce, yeah, talk about oil industry, oil and gas industry, any industry you want to get in tomorrow, any one of you. If you want to specialize, then pick up techno management and you can get in there. Of course, deferred MBA and MI makes you management experts with all the knowledge, right? But techno management is specially to ensure that you become the bridge between the technical world and the managerial world. You're the bridge who can handle both. You are an expert in both technical and management, and that's why these people are paid very, very heavily. These people are paid salaries amazingly well, right? These are very, very special. One more thing which I want to tell you is this. If, I don't know how many of you plan this, if by chance you plan to go to US and do your masters in STEM, what is STEM? Can anyone tell me what is STEM? Any one of you? I'm sure BCom students know about STEM because one of the fields relates to you. What is STEM? Can you tell me? Oh, I think there is something, a spelling mistake who did this. I'll write it down for you. There's something I've written in the chat. Please copy that, not the one on the screen. It's written as OPT. Can you write it down? STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, okay, and medicine. These are the fields that you look at. So if you do your master's in any one of these fields abroad in US, you can stay back in US for 3 years after completing a master's without a working visa. This period is called as OPT, which I've written in the chat. Please write it down, everyone. OPT, not ODP, OPT, optional practical training period. Please write it down. Optional practical training period. That means for 3 years, you can earn money, you can do your research, after you can pay back your loans as well. After 3 years, you can come back or you can stay there. It's an amazing option for people who think about going for masters abroad. And by mistake, if any one of you who loves accounting, who loves accounting, finance, and ends up doing PhD by mistake, what is the average salary of a professor there? Can anyone guess what is the average salary of a professor in accounting or finance in US if you become a professor? It's close to 2.5 to 3.5 lakh USD. Do you understand what I'm saying? $250,000 to $350,000 every year. That's the kind of salaries everyone gets. So that's why these options are one of the most amazing options that you can take off. Right? I hope you guys have written all the options. Can I get a yes or a no very quickly? Can I get a yes or a no? If you guys have written the options, I've talked about deferred MBA, I've talked about MIM, couple of colleges, and I've talked about techno management courses that you guys can take up. And these all are for you guys, unique courses, amazingly placed. But one of the biggest questions is what is seen on the screen. Am I right? Yes or no? Am I right in saying that? Can I get a yes or no? Most of the English students are, our parents put in so much effort, put so much money in your graduation, everything was done by them. Now imagine they have to pay 40, 50 lakh rupees or 70 lakh rupees of loan. Does it sound good? Does it sound good? Quickly type in and tell me, does it sound good that, they have paid for your schooling, they have paid for your graduation, now they have to pay extra money for even your master's? Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. How about I give you an option where, you can pay on your own and pay, you don't have to trouble your parents. Does that sound good? How about give you an option where you can do things on your own? You don't have to trouble your parents. How many of you would love to know these options? Quickly type in a yes or a no. Quickly type in a yes or no. How many of you would love that? Okay, one person, two people. Then I won't suggest. Only 2 people are saying yes. I can skip that. I don't mind. Okay. So these are a couple of scholarships that you guys can look at. I'm sure all of you know is if you want, you can take a screenshot of this. if possible, right? There are a couple of scholarships that you guys can look at. We are amazing in terms of KC Mahindra, Nehru Trust, Singapore Airlines. They do have for young people, Yantara, IGC grants, etc. Rhodes, Mariwala, right? Then they have Fulbright Commission, UN, WHO. All these organizations, India and abroad, try to give you scholarships, which is one of the standard ways. And I'm sure all of you know this, right? Scholarships are one of the standard ways to cut down my tuition fee. But there's something even more interesting, right? Have you guys gone to LinkedIn? How many of you are on LinkedIn? Can I get a yes or a no? How many of you are on LinkedIn? Okay, I see Anjali's on LinkedIn. What about the rest? Okay. Have you guys seen anyone who's studying abroad has something of these terms on their LinkedIn profile? Have you seen that? Teaching assistant, graduate assistant. In their entire experience, they would have mentioned this. Why? When you go for your master's and you excuse me, you work with a professor, you tend to earn stipends. And these stipends are good enough to help you sustain. आपने सुना होगा बहुत लोग जाते हैं ना कि मुझे मैंने यहाँ काम किया, मैंने उस होटल में काम किया, मैंने उस मैकडॉनल्ड्स में काम किया, right? There are a lot of people who tend to work as assistants with the professors and earn good amount of stipend. So you guys can go ahead and work in any university. I mean, study in any university. You can work with the professor, help him with his research paper, her research paper. You can help him publish papers and reports as well. And look at this: you earn stipends as good as $500 to $2,000 a month, which is a big amount. Which is really a good amount for any student to survive in any country. Does it make sense? Is it making sense? Assistantship is one of the best ways to work very closely with the professor, to learn a lot, and at the same time earn money to get your daily earnings, get your daily expenses managed. And finally, one more thing, student loans. The problem is Indian students tend to think that, their loans are very expensive. Think about these. Not many people know. Please write it down. Incred, Prodigy, Empower. These are loans, if you see, with very, very low interest rate. Very low interest rate where you can pay back in 10 years after completing your master's. Think about it. After completing a master's, it's not that you have to do it during master's. Once you get a job, you can start paying back and you can take all the more 10 years to finish it back with the low rate of interest. And that's why these student loans are very, very popular. You can go on to these websites and you can see Incred, Prodigy, Empower. Very famous loans that you can seek if you plan to go abroad. Oh, I want to show you this. I want to ask you this. I think I showed the slide, but I wanted to know. How many of you have heard about Scandinavian countries? How many of you have heard about Scandinavian countries? Okay, Vibor has heard about it. Vibor, can you name one Scandinavian country in the chat?
Norway.
Norway. Very good, Vibor. Absolutely. Anyone else? Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark. All these are Scandinavian countries. And you know what is the tuition fee to do your masters in Scandinavian countries for Indian students? Can anyone guess what is the tuition fee? Any guesses? No guesses? It's zero. It's absolutely zero. I'm not joking. Look at this. I'm not joking. The tuition fee to do your master's is zero. In fact, most of the public universities in Germany do not charge any tuition fee. The only trick is you should know. Can anyone tell? You should know this language. Which language should you know? Oh, it is but evident. Anyone should know the German language. German language you should know. There are multiple levels, even A2, B1, B2. At least you should know 3 to 4 levels before you give. Otherwise, there is no tuition fee. But do you think there's really a problem to study abroad? Can I get a yes or a no? Do you think it's really a problem to study abroad when you've got such amazing options in India and abroad? You've got more than enough options to fund your own masters. Do you think it's a big challenge? It's actually not. As long as you think about it clearly, you do not have a big challenge, right? And which exam do we write to go for these, masters? Can anyone type in and tell me which exam do I write to go for these masters? Anyone, quickly. I think I've already given you the hint, but everyone's smart enough to tell me. Of course, GMAT, right? How many of you have written GMAT? Anyone who has written GMAT? Yes or no? No one has written. Okay. Can anyone tell me a little bit about GMAT? Anyone, if you know a little bit about GMAT. Remember, I was telling you, CAT has some challenges, but GMAT does not have those challenges. GMAT is a very, very flexible exam, very nice exam. Why? Everyone knows that you have to go abroad. I mean, if you have to go again to top universities, you need to take the GMAT or GR exam. But what is the advantage of GMAT? Something interesting. Pehli baat, no, not unlimited attempts. In total, Vinayak, there are 8 attempts, and please all of you notice, in total you have 8 attempts at GMAT. But the good thing is, how many times you can write GMAT in 1 year? 5 times. Not once, not twice. 5 times in a year. Okay, with a gap of how many days? Can anyone tell me? देखो, अगर कैट एग्जाम कल होता है, खराब हो गया तो आपको अगले साल लिखना पड़ेगा. यू विल हैव टू वेट फॉर 1 year. बट अगर कल मैं जीमैट एग्जाम लिखता हूँ और खराब हो जाता है, आई कैन राइट GMAT again only after 16 days. Trust me, only after 16 days again you can write the GMAT exam. That's why GRE 21 days and GMAT 16 days. And you can schedule the exam according to your ease. You don't have to wait for anyone else to schedule. कोई पंडित आके डिसाइड नहीं करेगा, आप लोग जैसा चाहो वैसा कर सकते हो. सब साल में 5 बार लिखो, 5 साल तक वैलिड रहेगा स्कोर, नो टेक्निकल क्वेश्चंस. इनफैक्ट मैथ इतना इजी है, ट्रस्ट मी, द मैथ इज सो इजी फॉर दिस पेपर. You know what is? I'll tell you something. GRE CMAT में, what is the average score for an Indian student for math? It's I think 156 out of 170. US वालों का 140, 144 है. क्यों? Indians are very good with math. That's why. So GMAT compared to any other exam is basically the key for you to get into one of the top masters across the world, and that too in such an easy way. कोई technical question नहीं देता है, 5 साल तक valid भी रखते हैं score. Right? You can write after 16 days, even if you don't feel like अगर अच्छा नहीं है, और 10 standard के questions आते हैं. And that's why what makes GMAT so amazing, right? Let me ask you something now. I want you guys to, I know I've just overshot, so I'll just take another 2-3 minutes and I'm going to wrap it up. I want your opinion. Is everyone in for their opinion? Quickly type in a yes or a no. I want your opinion, since you have understood what are the challenges in the the Indian job market. आपको समझ आ रहा है कि हाँ मास्टर्स में भी कुछ चैलेंज है और क्या क्या ऑप्शंस हैं आप लोगों के लिए अवेलेबल. फेयर इनफ. आई वांट टू टेक एन ओपिनियन फ्रॉम यू. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू कैन गिव मी एन ओपिनियन, यस और नो? I'll ask you a question, but I want your opinion. I want a yes from all of you, otherwise I'm not taking the opinion. I really need the opinion from all of you, so I'll show you the question. It's basically a simple question, and I want... Okay, I see a couple of you. Some of the folks are using Instagram right now. So Anjali is typing in there. Poor girl is trying to lead from the front. Okay, so at least Yatharth is there supporting her. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you guys to respond to me, okay? There's two students in front of you, okay? There's a guy called as Ishan, okay? Who's doing BBA from a tier 1 college. One of the good colleges of India. Nice CGPA. Excellent score in GMAT. Okay, 720 out of 800. He's applied for Masters in Business Analytics in 5 universities. Along with it, he's a batch topper, of course. He's a top-notch guy, and he's a lead of the Writers Club. Then there is this hero, okay, Nitish करके, tier 2 college, average college है, BMS कर रहा है, 7.5 CGPA, not a great CGPA, okay. 690 का बेचारे का GMAT score आया, 700 भी cross नहीं किया. He applied for MIM, right, 5 universities में. He's a national level swimmer. He's more into sports, right, and he's the head of sports club, right. बताओ किसके chances हैं? Who will get selected? Ishan or Nitish? Quickly type in the chat box and tell me, what do you think? Who will get selected? Nitish, of course. Anjali says Nitish. Vinayak says Nitish. Okay. Himanshu says Nitish. Anshika says Nitish. Can you guys tell me why? Quickly type in diversity, okay? Diversity. यार colleges को चाहिए intelligent बच्चे. Simple. Okay. Anjali says course selection. Okay. Very good. Anything else? Himanshu, आपने बोला है Nitish. Why? Why not Ishan? Ishan is one of the top-notch colleges यार, जहाँ से maximum लोग जाते हैं masters के लिए. वैसे college से आ रहा है वो. I'm talking about the top-notch college of India. Ishan के भी co-curriculars हैं. He's a type lead of Writers Club. Why Nitish? Well, you guys have been pretty close there, but yeah, whatever 4 of you mentioned is absolutely right. Why? Imagine Ishan got rejected by 4 out of 5 colleges. He got an option. One of the universities gave him an admission, but not in business analytics. Nitish, however, got accepted by 4 out of 5 colleges, which gave him 50% scholarship and $800 stipend as well in the starting with the professor. Why did this happen? Can anyone type in and tell me why did this happen? Quickly type in and tell me. ऐसा क्यों हुआ? And this is a true story. The names are changed. But can anyone tell me why did this happen? नो आइडिया. हाँ, आई टेल यू व्हाट. इंडियन स्टूडेंट्स को पता है क्या लगता है, जो बीकॉम बीएससी कोई भी हो, अगर मेरे अच्छे नंबर आ गए या मैंने टॉप नॉच कर दिया, मैंने अच्छा जी मैथ स्कोर कर दिया, तो मेरा एडमिशन किसी भी कॉलेज में हो जाएगा. यू आर एब्सोल्युटली रॉन्ग. Your GRE, GMAT scores and academics accounts for only 20 to 30% of your admission in any of the programs that I've given you today. Rest 70 to 80% is only one thing. Can anyone tell me that word? What is that one word that matters the most? 70 to 80% आपका एडमिशन क्राइटेरिया जो डिपेंडेंट है वो इस वर्ड पे है. Absolutely, Anjali. Anjali said the right word. The word is called as profile. The problem is Indian students do not understand this. और यही प्रॉब्लम है हम सबके साथ जो यहाँ पे है आज. सबने सोचा है मास्टर्स कर लेंगे, अच्छा नहीं ये ऑप्शन मिल गया है, वो ऑप्शन कर लिया है, चलो एक एग्जाम देके अच्छा सा स्कोर ले आते हैं, हो जाएगा. मैंने 2-4 सर्टिफिकेट ले लिए हैं कॉलेज में तो हो जाएगा. It does not work like that. If you want to land up truly in one of the best masters, I'm not talking about tier 2, tier 3, I'm talking about the top-notch masters of India and abroad. If you really want to land up, you need to understand 4 things which are written on your screen. First, what kind of profile do you create? आपका प्रोफाइल का बहुत वैल्यू है बाहर की यूनिवर्सिटीज में. द प्रोफाइल इज ऑल दैट यू हैव डन बिसाइड्स योर एकेडमिक्स. Of course, your academics count, but what else have you done in that profile to create that entire segment? Second, what time do you apply? What is the time of the year when you are trying to apply for that college or bunch of colleges? Third, which college are you applying to? Is it even aligned? And very simple example is, अगर मैं एक बच्चा, if any one of you has a size, who wears a size of 40 as t-shirt or 38, do you think 44 will make sense on him? Simple question. Yes or no? Do you think 44 का size will make sense on a 38 or 36 का t-shirt वाला guy? Simple question. Quickly type in a yes or a no. I'm asking each and every one of you who are here today using Instagram right now and your Snapchat. Let's be honest with each other. It doesn't make sense. You applying to 20, 30 colleges doesn't make sense because you'll be wasting your time, energy, and money. You need to be bam on, right on the spot to know which colleges are. But the problem is no one is able to understand कौन सा कॉलेज मेरे एस्पिरेशंस में आता है, कौन सा सही है मेरे लिए. So figuring out the right time to apply, figuring out the right colleges to apply, and figuring out how to prepare that application is the most crucial thing along with your profile to get into the right masters. It's not as simple as it looks in the real world. अगर आपके सीनियर्स या आपके जानने वाले किसी भैया दीदी किसी का एडमिशन हो रहा है बाहर की यूनिवर्सिटीज में, ask them, they'll tell you it's not a joke. It takes a lot of effort, it takes timing to understand कि ये कैसे करना है, and ये खुद से नहीं होता है. It takes a immense amount of understanding to do it, and it takes months. It does not happen in one day. Do you think this can happen in 1 or 2 days? Let's be honest. Do you think this applying to any of the universities or getting into masters can happen in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month? No, it takes a couple of months at least to get things sorted. And that's how you land up with one of the best master's options across in India and abroad. In your favorite college, in your favorite program, and then you come out with flying colors in the most amazing jobs in the top Fortune 500 companies or the top 4 consulting firms or top 4 service-based firms or the top 4 product firms of the world. It does not just happen like that. Does it make sense? Can I get a yes or a no? Quickly. Very quick. Can I get a yes or no from all of you if it made sense? Or give me a thumbs up at least. I know there's an emoji somewhere, I think. If you understood what I said, can I get a thumbs up? Amazing. Now tell me on a very, very serious note, okay? On a very serious note. How many of you understood that there is something missing for you? How many of you genuinely understood? Yes or no? That, boss, and be honest to yourself, not to me. At least be honest to yourself. Not me, not your professors, not your parents, nothing. Just be honest with yourself and tell me कि प्रोफाइल आता पता है, कुछ टाइमिंग का आता पता है, कॉलेज का आता पता है, नहीं एप्लीकेशन कैसे बनाते हैं पता है, कुछ आइडिया है? यस और नो? Yes or no? Quickly type in the chat box. The idea is no. Okay. Okay, I'll give you a quick option, okay? What I want you to do is, how many of you, and do not say yes just for fun, and I'm very serious, okay? Do not say yes for fun. How many of you would genuinely want to sit down one-to-one and understand what are the right things, all 4 of these things, right for you? How many of you would love to understand? Type in a yes or a no, one-to-one. How many of you would love to sit down 15 minutes separately and understand that what college fits you best, or what timing fits you best, what course fits you best, what kind of profile is required? How many of you would love to do that one to one with? Quickly type in and do not write yes for fun. I am very serious. I won't take the calls then. I'm very serious about it. If someone is very genuine in taking this approach and understanding what is right, not jumping into random courses, jumping into understanding when to go, how to go, what to go for, then I'll be happy to help. Can you raise your hands? All those who are absolutely dead serious to understand, sit down one to one on it. Raise your hands. Quickly raise your hands and then I'll be able to help you out. Okay, what I want you to do is, all those who are genuinely interested, raise your hands. I'm going to show you a small barcode on the screen. I want you guys to scan that and fill the form. Okay, there's a small 1-minute form. I want you guys to fill it up. Okay, are you guys able to access this form? Quickly type in a yes or a no. Just try to scan this. Try to scan this and tell me if you're able to get the form. Are you guys able to get the form? Yes or no? Can I get a yes or a no? Okay, Anshika says yes. Okay, quickly fill in the form, and once you're done, please type in done in the chat box. I'm giving you 1 minute, and this is for all of you, all those who are there. All those who want one-to-one, quickly, free counseling, no charges for that. I'm not doing that. I'm here to help you out. So all those who want to understand which course is aligned specifically for you, according to your aspirations, the work you have done in your college, the extracurriculars you have done in your college, which location, what is the budget, which country you want to go for. If you want to understand everything and how you can plan better, please scan the barcode and quickly confirm done in the chat box once you have scanned and filled the form. All you have to do is scan the form right in front of you and let me know. Can I get a quick confirmation? Yes or no? I mean done. Please use done. Okay, Anjali says done, I think. Please make sure you fill the correct details. Do not jump in and fill incorrect details, okay? Otherwise, I won't be able to reach out to you. Can you quickly confirm with the done, D-O-N-E, done in the chat box? If you're done with it, please confirm. I'm removing it. Okay, Anjali is done. What about the rest? Vinayak done, 2, 3, Devina done, 4th Krish done, 5th Himanshu done, 6th Tanushree, 7th Sneha done. Okay, great. Can I remove this? I think I'll remove it. Okay. I will remove it. Okay. Okay. Okay, one last question. I hope everyone was able to do it. One last question before I wrap it up. I know I have overshot by 14 minutes. I'm really sorry. But one last question. How was the session? Quickly type in the chat box. I hope you're not cursing me. घर में बैठ के गाली वाली ना दे रहे हो मन में कि यार टाइम वेस्ट हो गया हमारा फ्राइडे का छुट्टी थी वैसी अम्बेडकर जयंती खराब हो गई. I hope that's not the case. I hope you guys understood a little, at least understood the importance and the options and what you need to do right now. It's going to be very, very crucial for all of you. Anjali, I would love to see if we can take a screenshot with these folks. I would love to have that. I'm happy to see that you guys understood something about it and it was somewhat helpful. I don't know how many people can actually switch on the camera. If you can switch on for 1 minute, that would be great, guys. Thanks, Yatharth. Really appreciate the comments here. Thanks, Sagar. Thanks, Anshika. Thanks, Anjali, Vinayak. Guys, if you can quickly switch it on for very quickly for just 10 seconds so that we can take a quick screenshot. Anjali, you would be the best person to take it. I think people are too shy at the Al Singh college, huh? Vinayak ne shy, मैंने shy बोला Vinayak ने एकदम he ran away. I think we are the only two people. Okay, we have a few folks. Great. I think that's good enough. You guys have been really supportive. I think you have been an amazing audience here. Thank you so much for sparing time and listening to me. And I hope it was somewhat, at least it will accelerate or at least push forward your career a little bit in the right direction. Anjali, are we done?
So I take over.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. On behalf of the ComHub team and everyone in presence, I appreciate Mr. Abhishek Gupta, sir, for this extremely informative session. Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful information you shared with us today and the new options you've given us. Furthermore, a heartfelt appreciation to all the teachers and attendees for joining us in this incredible session. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a great evening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye. Ciao. Hasta la vista. Take care.
Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks, Anjali.
Thank you, sir.